Hi guys, Dave Wilson here again. Now today I want to share with you two really cool hammers that I've got. The first is this one, which is a nylon faced hammer designed for making bangles. The second is this one, which is a texturing hammer designed for applying and embossing textures. And for those that didn't notice, they're both the same hammer. So come with me, let me show you this. It's really cool. Follow me.
I'm very excited to show you this. This is the Fretz HMR-7 Double-ended insert hammer. Instantly recognisable with the Purdue wood handle, feather-light but immensely strong. The beautifully finished head with the Fretz logo, the matte texture and the mirror polish details. Superb Fretz quality as always. Now the cool thing with this hammer is that you can swap the faces. It comes with an assortment of 9 nylon faces, each with a different shape. They attach to the hammer by unscrewing these two little grub screws, one on each side, using a hex wrench. Pop in the head that you want to use and secure it by tightening the two grub screws, again from each side. Remember though, these heads are nylon, so don't overdo it. Notice too, you can rotate them round any way round that suits you. So for most jobs you'll want them at 90 degrees to the handle. This hammer was designed by Bill Fretz and it's designed for making concave and domed bangles. Here I'm using a sinusoidal or anticlastic stake, one of these wiggly mandrels. And you can see how the different radius of the heads match the different size curves on the stake. Likewise, the flatter heads can be used on convex shapes on the outside. The nylon heads won't overstretch the metal or mark it, so you can really get inside all those tight curves to create really complicated shapes. But for me, this hammer is so much more than just bangles. Let me show you why. I do a lot of restoration work on vintage and antique pieces. And quite often this means removing dents and straightening out or recurving delicate pieces. And for me this hammer is perfect for flattening out dents, knocking back corners and getting inside those hard to reach areas. With all these heads it's like a miniature panel beating set for me. Perfect for small delicate jobs such as bowls, flasks, goblets, cigarette cases, silverware and even jewellery. It's much smaller and more accurate than any of my other nylon hammers, and it's just so versatile. It's also perfect for using with swage blocks, dapping blocks, or even working on top of doming punches. Basically anywhere you need to make your metal curved. There are really 101 uses for this hammer. But that's not all. Fretz also makes this set of 8 texture inserts. These are steel and just as before they slot into the HMR-7 hammer and are tightened with the little grub screws. Remember again that you can rotate them. This is particularly important with some of these designs as they have a natural direction, so you might want to use these at right angles to the handle. Top tip, if you're only using one face for texturing, still insert one on the other side. This gives extra weight and it helps keep the hammer perfectly balanced. Remember to keep the face flat to the surface. Ideally your piece should be annealed, and if you want a shiny finish then polish your piece before applying the texture. Ensure it's well supported on a smooth flat surface like a bench block and just have fun with it.
So guys, a couple of important pieces of information that you need to bear in mind. Firstly, the picture that you see on the end of the face is not necessarily what will be embossed. You don't get a whole complete pattern like wavy lines or something. You'll get little bits where it makes contact with the metal. So the pattern that you get is a lot more random than what it appears on the face. The other thing to remember is that positive and negative. So anything that's raised on the hammer will create an indentation in your material. Vice versa. Anywhere there's a recess on the hammer, that will end up being the polished, the original surface on the metal. So, you know, it will be the opposite. So in order to try and show you this and give you some idea of what these things will look like, I've done two things to help you out here. Firstly, I've textured some copper discs and then I've domed them to make them look 3D, and I've oxidised them. Now they don't look particularly attractive, but hopefully you'll be able to see the texture as it's oxidised. To give you an idea of what they look like on jewellery, I've got some polished brass strips. And what I've done with these, and you'll see on the close-ups, at the bottom I've got just a few random hammer blows so you can see the actual impression that it's made. And as I move towards the end, I get more and more and more hammer blows. So there's a kind of mid texture in the middle, and then towards the end here all the blows are completely overlapped, and so you get a nice dense pattern. So hopefully when I show you the close-ups you'll see what it looks like, more like on a piece of finished jewellery. So let's line these up and let's show you what you can do with it. Follow me.
Number 1 is beach pebbles. This has small round holes in a random pattern. If you cover the piece randomly, you'll get an effect of like raised dimples, rather like pebbles on a beach. 2, linen. This is a fine random texture. Use any way around and it creates a very subtle texture. One of my favourites, this one. Number 3, rough slate. This has a horizontal ripple texture, giving it the effect of weather slate or flagstones. Try to keep it parallel as you work and don't overlap it too much. Number 4, walnut bark. This is a more random texture, but still with a slightly linear line to it. So again, keep your blows parallel and try to cover the whole surface. Number 5, stucco, one of my favourites. A random texture, but with this the texture is impressed, so the texture is actually sunk in. Number 6, rainwater. This is probably the best of all. A slightly rippled texture, but very random, and it just has a slight direction to it. So if you do this all in the same direction, it looks like rainwater running down a window. Great on highly polished surfaces, really nice. Number 7, maple bark. A more sharper linear grain. Cover the entire piece in the same direction with overlapping blows for a beautiful fine texture. This one's perfect for rings. Number 8, waffle. Now this isn't what you might expect. Looking at the face you can see the waffle shape, but this acts like dozens of tiny little hammers, so it creates a fine hammered effect. Move it around different angles and get good coverage for a perfect hammered finish. Don't forget you can also switch them around, a few blows from one phase and then a few blows from another phase. Perhaps even set them at different angles to get a more random effect. It's limitless. The HMR-7 Hammer comes with the 9 nylon inserts as a set, and to be honest it's a really good deal for what you get. The texture inserts come on their own, just as a set of 8, and they will work with the HMR-7, which is shown here, but they will also fit the HMR-7, so if you have one of those, then this texture set is a great addition to your hammer. The heads just come in loose bags, so get a piece of wood, drill some holes in, and you've got a simple storage rack. Also, keep some samples and experiments as reference. So I hope you can see why I love this hammer so much. It's just so versatile, and I'm sure there are many more creative possibilities that I haven't even discovered yet. If you want to learn more, check out the links in the description below for more information and even some money off if you want to buy one. I've been Dave Wilson. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you real soon on the next video. Bye for now.